Hello friends, welcome to my channel Computer Engineering Made Easy and I am Anindita. In this video, I will discuss about memory mapping in C. The memory pool in C is divided into predefined sections and these sections have specific locations with respect to the memory addresses. So let's dig in. The first section is the text or the code section. This section starts from the lowest address available and contains the executable instructions of a program, that is, the .exe files. It is placed below the heap or the stack sections in order to prevent heap or stack overflows from overwriting it. This section is shareable. Hence, only a single copy of an executable file needs to be in the memory for frequently executed programs. For example, a single executable file for a text editor may be invoked multiple times for different instances of the text editor. Similarly, other executables can be C compilers, shells, etc. This section is often made read-only to prevent accidental modifications. The next section is the initialized data segment, also known as the data segment. It is a portion of the virtual address space of a program that contains the global variables and static variables which are initialized by the programmer. It is not read-only since the values of the variables can be altered at runtime. This segment can be further classified into initialized read-only area and initialized read-write area. Any global or static variable with initialized values will come under the initialized read-write area, whereas any global or static variable which is initialized as a constant variable will be in the initialized read-only area. This is because its value will remain constant throughout the scope of the program. The uninitialized data segment, on the other hand, is also called the block started by symbol segment or the BSS segment. Variables in this segment are initialized by the kernel to 0 before the program starts executing. It contains all global variables and static variables that are not initialized explicitly in the source code. The command line arguments and the environmental variables form a different section and is located at the top of the process memory layout at the higher addresses. Whenever a program is executed, the OS creates a corresponding process space including the code section, the heap, the stack, etc. Whenever any data is passed as a command line argument, the operating system puts the command line argument vector in a location in this section and then copies the address of the argument vector to argv on the stack and the count of words to argc. All other environment variables are also stored in this section. The next section is the stack section, also known as the stack memory. Stack is used to store automatic or local variables whose scope is valid within a function where it is declared. It is managed by the CPU and the user has no ability to modify it. Stack memory is divided into successive frames where each time a function is called, it allocates itself a fresh stack frame. The stack grows and shrinks in one direction as the variables are created and destroyed. Stack variables or automatic variables exist as long as the function that created them is executing. Every time a function declares a new variable, it is pushed onto the stack. Once the function completes execution, its corresponding frame is popped from the stack. It follows last in first out order. So the frame executed last is popped out of the stack first. The stack is not infinite. It has got an upper bound depending upon the operating system. The top of the stack is marked by a particular pointer variable called the stack pointer, which is basically a CPU register. If a program tries to put too much information on the stack, stack overflow will occur. That is a situation when all the memory in the stack has been allocated and further allocations begin overflowing into other sections of the memory. Stack overflow also occurs in situations where recursion is used without any bounds. To see how the stack memory actually grows and shrinks and how the value of the stack pointer changes with function calls, I recommend you to see my tutorial on understanding stack memory using C, whose link is provided on the top right corner of the screen. The next section in the memory is the heap. The heap is a large pool of memory that can be used dynamically, that is, during program execution. This memory is not automatically managed and has to be allocated using C functions like malloc, calloc, and realloc. This memory also needs to be deallocated after usage using C function free explicitly. Failure to free this memory will result in memory leak. Since C does not have any automatic garbage collector like Java or any other advanced languages, if the memory is not freed explicitly by the programmer, the chunk of the memory assigned to the program will be considered to be in use and will not be allocated to any other program who might need it. Thus, if numerous programs run and none frees their memory after use, eventually the heap will run out of space. This situation is what we call the memory leak. Unlike stack, the heap is large and is usually limited by the physical memory available. Variables created on the heap are accessible anywhere within the program, irrespective of the scope, and heap memory requires us to use pointers. To see how the heap memory works, I recommend you to see my tutorial on arrays using dynamic memory allocation in C, whose link is provided in the top right corner of the screen. With that, we come to the end of our today's tutorial. Hope you have enjoyed my video. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Also share this video with your friends. Thank you. Bye bye.